All right. We here, man.
Yo,
Going on? Let me turn this volume up. Yo, we live on YouTube right now. Facebook was giving us problems. NDO Media Group, Pick and Roll Podcast, episode 14. It's me. It's my man, Super Dave. Dave, how you feeling, man?
regular
Feeling real regular?
on them.
I hear you.
What's going on with you?
Nothing, man. Waiting to see how these finals play out, man. We got a lot to talk about around the finals too. Now that the show is starting, we really didn't have an itinerary. I got a lot to talk about, man.
Who you got, man?
I got the Bucks in 7. I've been betting against the Suns all playoffs. They kept going, just like I was betting against the Hawks, and they kept going. So it's only right, if you're a Suns fan, you should want me to pick the Bucks in 7. But I think they're a team of destiny, man. I think Giannis plays at least game 3. He'll be in game 3 or 4. And at that point, it's a 2-1 series, and it's very winnable.
2-1, which way?
At worst, I think it'll be 2-1 after 3 games, Suns. Then we'll see Giannis available. And I think once Giannis can get on the court, it cancels out Ayton. I think it cancels out anything the Suns could do inside.
It's tough because with that type of injury,
you
got to have moves. And Giannis only has 2 moves.
Right.
The Euro and the spin move. And then with that hyperextension going side to side, it's hard. Now, if you had a jump shot, then you could offset that injury by, hitting jump shots. But since he doesn't have a jump shot, him getting to the basket is going to be hard.
It's definitely going to be hard. The lateral movement, like we were talking before the podcast, they got to warm it up. But I don't know if it's really going to show us anything at this point. But I also think Milwaukee has enough shooting and playmaking to get the job done. Because let's go matchups for a minute, right?
Mm-hmm.
Top 3 players on the Suns, because we know the finals is about stars.
Mm-hmm.
Top 3 players on the Suns, top 3 players on the Bucks. Holiday, Chris Paul. That's the matchup, right? That's who's guarding who, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you got Middleton, Devin Booker.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got Brook Lopez, and you got DeAndre Ayton. Are you seeing a clear advantage for the Suns anywhere? Physically?
No.
I think there's a solid matchup right there for the Milwaukee Bucks. And I'm going to give the Bucks a sort of edge in this, not just because they were my pick or anything like that. I don't know. What I saw from them to close out the Hawks series was a team that feels like they can win without their best player.
I saw, how much of that game did you see?
I saw quite a bit of a lot of the games. I did see bad shot selection. Like, I felt like they could have got the Hawks out of there a lot earlier, but the Bucks fall in love with the 3-pointer a little too much, and they don't really get it. They don't get it in rhythm as much as they should.
Nah.
They don't really set up a lot of rhythm 3-pointers. So that's one of my issues with them.
Yeah, I was out of town, so I didn't see much of the game. But the little bit that I did see, I saw Brook Lopez dominating like he was back in with the Nets.
And that's one thing I did notice.
And I was like, yeah, this is over.
Well, but that goes back to what I was saying. I don't think Giannis should play the 5. I think Brook Lopez should be on the bench whenever Giannis is in the game. Mm-hmm. And they got to move Giannis or they got to move Brook. Brook has to be playing a 5 at all times. Yeah. He shouldn't be standing in the corner the way guys had to do with LeBron, because they pretty much made him Chris Bosh when Giannis is on the floor. And I don't like that. Brook Lopez is a real 7-footer. He's good off both hands. He's got a strong touch around the basket. He's got good footwork. And he's just bigger than everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And he's actually more athletic than DeAndre Ayton, if you ask me.
DeAndre Ayton struggles with natural big guys.
Yeah, because he's a lurch himself. You know what I mean? And it takes him a lot to try to be explosive on the defensive end, get up and block those shots, to try to do things on the offensive end. And his offensive game is really limited. Brook is going to take him outside. He's going to take him inside. And he's pretty much going to finish around the basket pretty well. That's why I think if you go to top 3 players without Giannis being on the floor, I think the Bucks could win that series in 7 games. If Giannis is out for the entire finals, I think the Bucks can do it.
Yeah.
And I think it's because we're also seeing a maturation of Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday's now hit another level. He's becoming, 24 points, 12 assists, 6 rebounds, Drew Holiday.
The level that you wanted to see in Philly when he was there?
He was that player in Philly, but there was a lot of other players. The team was built wrong. It was a bunch of B-level players. And Drew Holiday's a B-plus player, but our best player was a B-plus player, Andre Iguodala at the time. Then we had Thaddeus Young, B-plus player. We had Elton Brand. At that point, he was a C-level player. And then we had Evan Turner, a B-level player, and we never really gave him an opportunity to shine.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're seeing out of Drew Holiday, we're seeing the potential actually come to fruition. Kind of what we were seeing in New Orleans, but you're seeing it now.
But the thing with Drew is he doesn't really show aggression until Giannis is not on the floor.
I will say that.
And then that's what a lot of them, like you said, like you touched on, they bury Brook in the corner when Giannis is in the game.
That's a fact.
When Drew and Giannis is on the floor, Drew defers to Giannis. You know what I mean? Chris Middleton really doesn't do Chris Middleton type things until Giannis is on the bench or late in the fourth quarter when Giannis trying to get the ball out of his hand, playing hot potato.
And that's the weirdest thing, because as Giannis is your best player and you need him to win most of your games, but just like any sport, styles make fights. Sometimes coaches are going to have to make that drastic change and say, hey, Brooke, you're going to have to sit down because this Giannis thing just doesn't quite work against the teams that are left in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, I think the Sixers suffered from that. Look, sometimes you might have to let Ben Simmons run the 5 and surround him with all shooters. That might be the most effective thing to do against a running team. He needs to be that guy, and you're going to have to sit Embiid. It might not be this person's series to win. And I think that's the important thing, that, you're going to see a chess match here. But it does look like, to beat the teams that are left in the playoffs, which are shooting teams, there's no team that's really going to, well, now it's the finals, so there's only 2 teams left.
Mm-hmm.
But the Suns are another shooting team, a perimeter team. They're not going to hammer you inside. There are no sledgehammers there.
Mm-mm.
But I just think that what we saw, that Bucks team is more apt to beat this team. Giannis is clunky and he slows them down.
Mm-hmm.
He disjoints the offense, so to speak. And, and like I said, maybe in 2 years that team is still together and they're all matured.
What team?
The Bucks.
It's going to be hard with Giannis making all that money.
It is. Well, they got Drew Holiday for 4 more years after this year, and they'll be able to go over the cap for Middleton. So that's going to be their big 3, and they're going to have about 3 years before Holiday gets old.
Mm-hmm.
But I could see that team being able to operate a lot better with Giannis once that outside shot gets just a little bit better. But right now, him just going directly down into the paint, clogging up everything, that's not good, man. It's not good basketball.
Mm-mm.
All right, so here's what I want to talk to you about. Nick Wright put Chris Paul in his top 5 point guards. Number 1 was Magic Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 was Oscar Robertson. Number 3 was Steph Curry. Number 4 was Isaiah Thomas. Number 5 was Chris Paul. How do you feel about that list?
1 was Magic, you said?
Yeah, 1 was Magic, which, yeah, okay, whatever.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
2 was
Oscar Robertson. And the numbers show he's up there,
Okay. 3 was Zeke.
No, 3 was Steph Curry.
I'm cool with that.
I'm cool with it too.
I'm cool with Steph.
I'm cool with it too. There's an argument there, but I'm cool with it.
4 was Zeke.
4 was Zeke, and 5 was Chris Paul.
I would have to take Chris Paul out.
There's a lot of disrespect there, and I'm glad you said it, because Jason Kidd retired as a top 5 point guard.
Yeah.
And to me, his career has been as good and better than Chris Paul's.
Yeah.
If you look at the totality of it. Chris Paul's at year 16. We're not talking about a guy where we're like, oh, let's see how he does 4 years from now. No, 4 years from now, he's sitting on a couch watching basketball.
Mm-hmm.
But right now,
I'm putting J Kidd over him.
I'm putting J Kidd in there over him too.
I'm putting Stockton over him.
And Stockton, I've already expressed my love for John Stockton.
Those might be the only 2 that I would put ahead of him.
And I still think he's in like the Gary Payton range.
Yeah.
They have the similar effects on teams. You know, I mean, I give Chris Paul credit. He's carrying bad teams to competitiveness, but this is not what he's been doing his whole career. We're looking at the best 3 years of his career, these last 3 years, which happens to be the end of his career. And I just don't understand how you leave Jason Kidd out of there when he led the Nets to 2 finals, even though they lost
back to
back. And then he won a finals with Dallas as the starting point guard in Dirk in 2011. They beat the Big Three Heat. Chris Paul, we're hoping he gets his first ring so we can give him a gold jacket and he'll be all right.
Yeah, and then like touching on that, I think Milwaukee is gonna win the finals, but I just gotta I want Chris Paul. I want the Suns to win because I want Chris Paul to get a ring.
I do too.
Like other than that, if Chris Paul wasn't in this game, I'm taking the Bucks. I'm still taking the Bucks, but there's a little part of me saying I want Chris Paul to get one.
I want him to get a ring because he never was like the clout chaser. He never was ring chasing and stuff like that. Right. He had to deal with the market as it came. So he never went chasing after big threes or anything like that. And I think his opportunity to get a ring was unfairly thwarted by David Stern and NBA because he should have been an LA Laker. Yeah. And 2012, 2013?
Something like that.
2012 should have been LA Laker.
I think if they don't nix that trade, I think him and Kobe get 2.
Yeah. They send Kobe out right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I have a conspiracy theory. I think the NBA was done with Kobe and they wanted to move on. They wanted to move on to the LeBron era. And, this is pre-Steph Curry, but they were like, look, people aren't going to let Kobe go. And then Kevin Durant's not quite taking it because he's in Oklahoma City. At the time, Derrick Rose was hurt. They're like, look, man, I'm sorry, Kobe. We're going to have to do this to you. You can't have another star. So
you're saying the NBA didn't want Kobe to get 7 rings?
I just don't. I think they just looked at it and said, we can't do that. We can't let you get whatever you want. I think had he got his ring the hard way through a bunch of other trades, it would have been fine. But I don't think they wanted Chris Paul to come in.
So you ain't like that Gasol for Kwame Brown? You ain't like that deal?
Yo, that's crazy. That's crazy. And that's what you're saying. Teams gave the Lakers many gifts during that era. They got gifted a lot of really good players. Lamar Odom came for nothing. So, it's one of the things, but this is where we're talking about Chris Paul's legacy. Oh, Giannis is playing tonight. So game 1, we're going to see how he moves, man. But like I said, I got the Bucks in 7. You have?
Got the Bucks in 7.
I got the Bucks in 7.
But I do want, it's weird because I do want Chris Paul to get a ring.
I want Chris Paul to get a ring too, but I just don't know if it's his year. And also, I want the city of Milwaukee to get a ring because I'm tired of the same 3 cities passing around or wherever LeBron playing, getting a ring or getting the opportunity at it. Milwaukee's a real sports town. That's a classic franchise. That's a flagship franchise in NBA, man.
But I tell you this, if Chris Paul and the Suns don't get it this year, I don't think he's ever going to win one.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely a wrap because I don't think this team is good next year with every other team getting healthy again and they're back under a regular schedule. It's not compressed.
And people might say, oh, I mean, I'm only saying that because he's about to be in year 17 or whatever. But I'm going to say the same thing about the Clippers. Even if Kawhi goes back to the Clippers, since they didn't win it this year, when you didn't have to go through LeBron, you didn't have to go through Steph, you didn't have to go through KD.
Yeah,
they're not going to win because Klay's coming back. The Lakers are coming back healthy. The Nets are coming back healthy. It's going to be hard for somebody to win.
That's a fact. And it's going to be real tough. You're talking about the Nets coming back healthy, and just look at the West. Jamal Murray will be back with the Nuggets. They got moves to make. We don't know what Portland's going to do, but the Warriors are coming. And if Klay Thompson is healthy, bye 6 of the top 8. Warriors immediately 1, 2, 3, and they right there. So this is going to be very interesting, man, to watch. It's going to be a dope off season. I'm really excited about the NBA off season because you got Mikal Bridges on the Suns asking for max money. He said he thinks he's $100+ million player.
Oh, he thinks he's the the same thing Dennis Schroeder was saying.
Yeah. And then Cameron Payne's probably going to be asking for some cheese. Jay Crowder, make him a champion. He's going to be demanding money. It's going to be very interesting, man. And they're going to have to bring Chris Paul back, right? They're going to have to offer him the world. At 36 years old, do you give Chris Paul $50 million a year for 3 years? 3 years, 150, or 2 years, give him the 2 and the 1 that LeBron did in LA. So you give him 2 years, $50 million plus the 1 year player option.
It's gonna be tough because Ayton's gonna be coming up pretty soon.
Ayton's gonna be coming up in about 2 years, yeah. Or after next summer, they're gonna have to re-sign Ayton.
I mean, they just gonna have to play it like that. Like they know they have to re-sign Ayton.
Yeah.
So I would give Chris Paul a 2-year deal and just play it like that. Like, all right, we'll give you 2 years.
Yeah,
not,
a 1 and 1,
not 4. Yeah, we'll give you a 1 and 1.
Yeah,
just so we could see the price tag that's gonna be on 8, and then see if we could, I mean, if you still playing at a high level, see if we could fit you back in.
Right. Like I think they did right by him, and I think Chris Paul's a solid enough guy to say, "Yo, you know what? I'll give y'all that opportunity." But yeah, that 1 and 1, that 1 year, $50 million, 1 year player option. I think that's the best. That's the best case scenario for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's going to be interesting to watch how that plays out. The finals win definitely cements Giannis's legacy. He could argue that this was his era. He got 2 MVPs in the last 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
He could argue it's his era.
Yeah, he could argue it.
Yeah, he could say, "Hey, y'all, this wasn't the LeBron era; it's the Giannis era."
Didn't Steph win 2 in this era?
Well, it depends on what you consider.
Or you going, are we just going like 2000 to 2010 as an era?
What do you mean? I'm talking like these last 3 years. Giannis has 2 MVPs.
Yeah.
Last 3-4 years, right? So say 2 years from now, we look back after Giannis wins this.
Mm-hmm.
We can call this the Giannis era, the most dominant player in the NBA.
Yeah, we can.
Because I don't think any other team has won more games than them.
Nah,
I
think in this 3-year span, I think they've got the most wins.
Yeah, right. Consistently at the top.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then they'll be in position to compete for the next couple years with DiVincenzo coming back healthy, and that's just veterans are gonna want to play with them.
Yeah, I just don't think a healthy Milwaukee team could be a healthy Nets team.
I don't think.
I just don't see it.
I think the East is going to be exciting because no matter what people want to say, the more we get away from the situation, I don't think Ben Simmons is going anywhere. I think we're looking at a much different Sixers team going forward. But with Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons, having those 2 stars keeps you ahead of most of the Eastern Conference, and it puts you in the upper level of the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
I'm positive of that. And this is one thing I want to say to Sixers fans before we move on. I'm not going to stick on this. Ben Simmons is the second most talented player on the rosters. Agreed?
Agreed.
Are you trading Ben Simmons for De'Aaron Fox?
Yes.
You would?
Yeah.
Oh, we got a debate now. Explain to me why you would trade Ben Simmons for De'Aaron Fox.
Because De'Aaron Fox will allow Embiid and the rest of the Sixers to really like thrive.
Yeah.
Like he can score.
Okay.
Ben Simmons can't score unless it's under the paint.
I got you. Unless it's runners.
He plays.
Yeah, I got you.
Only thing that Ben has over him is height and defense.
I'm looking, and here's why you can't trade Ben right now while you have Embiid in his prime. 2 reasons. You got to max Embiid out this summer. So you're going to have to give him the $200 million max for 5 years, and that's the last contract you're giving Embiid, right? Mm-hmm. But you got him at least healthy. A smart man says 2 to 3 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
3 years being the absolute most.
Mm-hmm.
So you got Embiid for 5 years. That's your cap. Once you give him $50 million, it's time. Everything you do has to equal to trying to win a championship. Now with Ben Simmons, you're going up against Kevin Durant, who's getting older, right? You're going up against James Harden on the Nets. You got Jason Tatum in Boston. They're looking to make moves and get back in the thick of things.
Mm-hmm.
And you're looking at Chris Middleton, Giannis. Ben is the answer that keeps Philly competitive against all those players. This is a situation where I liken it to the Buffalo Bills, right?
Mm-hmm.
For us to get over the hump, we had to build our team to beat the Patriots. We can't worry about what's going on with the Patrick Mahomes and them. We got to beat the Patriots. I know out west, that's a different story. Embiid plays well against Western Conference teams because they don't really have athletic bigs outside from Anthony Davis, but he's too small to compete with him.
Mm-hmm.
But out east, there's 7-footers that are shooting threes.
Mm-hmm.
There's guys that are long, they're athletic. That's why I think you need to keep Ben Simmons and figure out another way to retool that roster, which is why I say Tobias Harris is the piece that has to move.
Look, I feel you.
Yeah.
But the question was, you asked me.
Oh, yeah. I did ask you. But yeah, and I'm just giving you my response and my retort. I'm just letting you know, I think it's crazy. I don't think De'Aaron Fox is a transformative player.
I just think he'll bring another dynamic to the Sixers. Another scorer, another person that could stretch the floor and allow Embiid to work one-on-one. Because if De'Aaron Fox bring the ball to the court, Embiid's posting up, and he throws the ball on the post, you can't help. The help has to come from somewhere else. If De'Aaron Fox man help, he can kick it back out. That's a three. With Ben, I throw you the ball on the post, I'm a sag. If you throw it back out, I don't fear you.
Yeah,
shooting the ball, and then now the pick and roll with De'Aaron Fox to be deadlier because now you gotta defend Embiid's rolling or Embiid popping, or De'Aaron Fox turning that corner or hitting a little pull up.
Yo, shout out to my man Chris Walker. He said he has a grit Ben doesn't have as well. I think Ben's very gritty on rebounding and defending and all the little things. It's just we need that scoring to come up, and we really just need aggression, attacking the basket. Shout out to my man Chris, man. Appreciate you tuning in.
Yeah, De'Aaron Fox, he a dog.
I don't know, man. I don't necessarily like it. I think, and especially with Ben, I think he's worth a lot more. He's worth a lot more than just De'Aaron Fox.
His value was going down.
I know it's going down, but we're talking about talent level.
Right.
I don't think De'Aaron Fox is ever going to be better than what he is now.
We can't say that because
I just never saw him as a high ceiling player. He's a talented guy.
I mean, we can't say that because people didn't really think Devin Booker was going to thrive like this until Phoenix made the playoffs and we got a chance to see him.
It got to see him with top talent.
All it has to do, like if Sacramento can make the playoffs and we could see De'Aaron Fox, your point of view would probably change.
Okay, we'll see. I still got insulted by Sixers fans because I said Tobias Harris for Kevin Love, and people said, "Oh man, that's crazy. What you mean? Tobias Harris way better than Kevin Love?" I don't see that at all. Kevin Love is a real professional difference maker, like a real player. Yeah. Kevin Love is a player. He can step out, he can go inside, and I don't think people realize when Embiid's not available, Kevin Love could slide to that 5 and you could surround him with shooters and still play modern basketball.
Yeah, small ball 5.
Yeah, small ball 5. And which is kind of why you need to keep Ben. Because if De'Aaron Fox is on the team and Embiid is missing for 7 games, then what? You know what I mean?
De'Aaron Fox can take over a game.
We don't have a backup center right now.
Because Dwight only signed a 1-year joint, right?
Yes, and then Dwight's probably gone. They're probably sending him home. Back to Atlanta. So that's another problem. Ben he serves multiple purposes. But that was just one of the things people have been killing me about. Anybody been killing you on the internet? Any decisions? I'm gonna ask you about this because you're a father. You've coached. I've coached with you. LeBron gets into it with the announcers at his son's game. I was anxious to hear your thoughts. I guess the announcer made a comment about Bronny's bad shot choice or whatever.
The announcer, Bronny went to the basket and got fouled, and the announcer didn't think it was a foul, and he was like, "Oh, he only got that foul call because
they were playing in LeBron James Arena."
Yeah,
the arena's named after him. You got to kind of deal with that, you know.
I think I made a post about this. I was saying it doesn't matter. Like my son played all 3 sports: football, baseball, basketball.
Right.
I coached him in basketball. I mean, you coached with me.
Yeah.
But before I coach, I don't interact with the coaches or my son like when he's playing.
Right.
Like it's like football. I go to football games. I sit at the top of the bleachers away from everybody. I let the coaches coach.
Right. I thought you did it because you need to control yourself.
No,
You just stay as far away as possible.
No, I stay.
So it's hard to get involved.
And I did it with basketball. Like I would go to the gym and then
Yeah.
I would find a spot alone and then I would just sit and watch.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And I let his coaches coach him. That's your job. Even though I mean that might be volunteering, but that's your job.
Right.
If I want to tell him something, I'll wait till we get in the car when we driving home or when we home, and then like we'll go over some stuff. But while he's at the games, practice, I let the coaches do what they gotta do.
Encouragement only.
Yeah.
Do your thing, big dog.
That's it.
You know, that was it.
That's it.
My mom would heckle me. That shit wasn't right.
Only thing I tell him is right before he go on the field, I call him, he look, I say, have fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird situation because he's LeBron's son. The tournament's only happening because LeBron is there. And then the place is named LeBron James Arena. So what do you think is going to happen?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like if I go box Mike Tyson in Mike Tyson Arena and I get hit with a low blow, I don't expect to get that call if he low blows me in a clinch.
Right.
I get it. It's an away game. And that's pretty much what it was. But LeBron approaching the announcer and having to get the police to ask him to sit down.
Got in the middle of the game. Like,
yeah, and it's like, are you
much.
really going to do anything on a man level? It's like, come on, Brian. I know you're 6'8", 270 or whatever, 250. You know, like you're not going to do anything.
I've seen people saying that, since like LeBron's, he's, one of the greatest ever. So he could do this, he could do that. He's probably sponsoring the whole thing, which is probably right.
Yeah.
But I've seen Dwayne Wade's son play ball. I just seen Dwayne just sit in the crowd and cheer.
Yeah.
I seen Melo at his son game, just sit in the crowd and cheer. Like LeBron always has to have the spotlight on him.
Yeah, he's doing dunks during the kids' warm-ups.
Like,
yeah.
Come on.
But I think that's dope for the fans and the little kids, but it is kind of like, when is your son going to have a turn to shine?
I'm not doing it. I'm not getting in my son's layup line. I'm not getting in my son's Oklahoma drill. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, you better not get in that Oklahoma drill. You're going to jail.
I'm not doing
They're not
it.
even supposed to be doing Oklahoma drills no more.
I'm not going to my son's baseball games and we're like, coach, let me get a couple swings. No, I'm not doing it.
Yeah. Oh, let me warm up with the pitcher. Let me get behind that joint and catch.
I'm not doing it. The only time I was a first base coach for my son's team where we would get to the game and then it would be one coach. And then he was like, yo, do you mind? Until the other coach get there. All right, cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'll just stand there. And then once the other coach come, I go back to being a dad.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But
yeah. I haven't experienced that yet, but when I've gone to see nephews and little, friends, kids at games and stuff, I'm just pretty much watching to enjoy the game and see how they play. And I'm just evaluating to myself. Now if I see a coach like football getting a little too rough with the kids, I'll say something to the parent like, yo, I don't think that's cool because I don't think, and he's got these kids tackling with their head down. No, head up, stuff like that. That's what I'm worried about. Like, is this a safe environment for kids? And is the coach a reasonable person?
Right. Because
I'm not going to say no names, but I've seen youth basketball coaches screaming and just trying to take that tough approach with real little kids. And I'm not with all that, right? You're here to teach and you're here to learn. No one's going to put your name on the wall of fame because the kids win.
Yeah.
It's about making the kids better. And that's what I think people need to focus on.
That's just like when we coached. Like we was having fun with the kids.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah. I'm more excited to see them learn basketball.
Right.
I want them to be like, yeah, man, I play right because my coaches taught me.
Right.
Same way we learn.
Same way we learn.
Exactly.
And then like, I don't know if you remember, I forgot the kid's name, but when we took over, and then his dad was like, man, like the other coach, he didn't do none of this stuff with them.
Right.
Like I took joy in that than anything.
Exactly.
Like,
I forget his name too. I wonder how he's doing too, man. We got a guy. I started working with his confidence. We just had to get some of our star players.
What's his name, like Daniel or something like that?
Yeah. That was his name. But he needed to be more assertive about give me the ball, I'm gonna shoot, because he has skills.
Yeah, he probably was the best shooter on our team.
He was. They wouldn't give him the rock though. But yeah, I think LeBron definitely needs to realize the environment. He gotta take a step back, man. And you can't be acting like you're gonna fight the announcer. You're LeBron James, right? It's cops everywhere. It's gonna be bad for you.
Yeah, that was real corny that he was on.
Yeah, you gotta handle yourself a little bit better than that. College football. The players can now profit off their likeness. You see, Master P's son got a $2 million deal because he's playing basketball at an HBCU. The two twin girls I think they go to Wisconsin. They got an endorsement deal. Do you think, first of all, do you think college needs to go back and lift the penalties on everybody else who took money?
Yeah.
Reggie Bush included.
Yeah, because they ain't cheat.
Yeah, he didn't cheat.
Taking money ain't cheating.
Reggie Bush was just better than everybody.
Yeah, he was just better than everybody. Chris Webber was just
Except
better
for
than
Vince
everybody.
Young one night.
Like Chris Webber was better than everybody.
Yeah, he was.
He didn't. They ain't cheat. Like when you give. I know it was against the rule. Like when you give a student athlete money or his parents money,
right.
That don't mean they cheating. Now cheating is, I'm gonna go get Michael Jordan and I'm gonna put him in UMass and then let him play. That's cheating.
Yeah.
Other than like that's not. Reggie Bush didn't cheat.
Well, yeah, colleges should have to work and they should have to offer a little more if you're going to have this high stakes $1 million competition for the best players coming out of college. So, Chris asked a question: does it help or hurt the NCAA? In my opinion, it helps because it's an incentive to go to college now. You're not going to want to go play in LeVar Ball's Triple B League for $1,000, $10,000, and you're not going to want to go play barnstorming games in that other league. You're going to go to college and get a sneaker deal while you're there.
Yo, the NCAA only doing it because these kids are going from high school to the G League.
Yeah,
or taking a Brandon Jennings route, going overseas for 1 year.
Yep,
playing pro level basketball and going to the draft.
Yep.
So all of the top kids are not going to universities anymore. So that, I guess the NCAA was like, all right, like we got to do something about it.
Yeah, and that's where I'm looking and saying, you know, what the next Carmelo Anthony, maybe he stays 2 years at Syracuse because Nike gave him $5 million a year.
Yeah,
you know, and that's fine because I felt like they were protecting the sneaker companies more than anything. Look, if you want to give a Kwame Brown $5 million to go play 2 years in college, that's on you, buddy.
Yeah.
Because when he doesn't pan out or whatever, or what if he stinks in college? Because we don't know what he would have been in college. He would have had to go up against, you know, some of the top big men that ended up going to the NBA and being successful. We don't know what he would have been, but it's up to the sneaker company. If you want to give some teenager a bunch of millions and hope that he turns out just like the rest of the world, you're investing and you're taking a gamble. That's all right. It's cool with me.
I think, like touching on Kwame Brown, I think if he'd went to college, he probably would have turned out to be a better player.
I think so too, but also depending on what program he went to, because if he doesn't meet expectations, it could go really wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if he can't catch a pick and roll pass, or if he can't catch a pass in a post and stuff like that in college. But just imagine if he goes to Duke and he fails.
But in college, like it's a controlled environment.
It is. Yeah.
So college coaches, they're like more hands-on with the kids.
Well, he couldn't have played for Mike Rice or Bobby Knight.
Like no. But like in the NBA, like these are all grown men. So it's like, all right, look, if you don't get it, like I can't hold your hand. All right.
They're gonna hold your hand in college.
Next man, like college, they're gonna walk you through it.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a high recruit, high prospect, they're gonna walk you and hold your hand through until you get it.
Right.
So Kwame Brown might have had he probably would have had a better NBA career if he'd have went to college for a year or two.
Yeah, I definitely think it's going to be good for the NBA. Shout out to Chris again for that question. I think it's going to be good for the NBA. I mean, and it's going to be good for NCAA as well. You might start seeing guys stay 2 or 3 years that don't need to leave. Because one of the disturbing things I was looking at with this incoming draft class, almost everybody's 19 years old. Their bodies are underdeveloped. If you go look at the average draftee in 95 and look at them now in 2021, these kids are little.
Yeah.
That's why the game is positionless, because everybody's 140 pounds and that's 6'7", 6'8". One thing that people miss about the NCAA was guys, they used to develop their bodies. You be in the weight room, you learn how to do nutrition, you work with real top trainers, you had top facilities, you had a lot of stuff. There's millions of dollars being poured in to getting you ready, and it helps the athlete more than it hurts them, because you're basically getting a free audition to do the thing you love, and they're giving you all the tools to succeed before you get there. They're giving you millions of dollars of free game at the college level. You know, if your son says, yo, Pop, I want to go make $200,000 in the G League, yo, you're going to have to fight against some of the hungriest ball players ever. Go to college, enjoy being the man, Get your little New Balance contract where they could put a sneaker out, and then you could make a lot of money doing camps, endorsements, commercials. You could sell cars for Jim's Chevrolet. You could do all of that. All the stuff people got kicked out of college and investigated by the FBI for. You could do all that. And then you could go to the NBA and get your money and be guaranteed a roster spot because you dominate.
Yeah, but back to the original joint, like, I think everybody should get all of their records reinstated. Yeah. Reggie Bush should get his Heisman back.
He should. He definitely should.
Everything. Like,
and I'm pretty sure Arizona had to vacate wins with DeAndre Ayton because they had a Nike scandal.
Yeah.
They got to give that guy Sean, the coach. I can't
Sean
remember.
Miller.
Yeah, Sean Miller. They got to kind of, hey, man, it was Nike.
They got to.
But I do understand why that happened because that's money laundering.
Yeah.
You know, they went through back channels and unaccounted for. IRS is in there.
They got
same thing drug dealers go down for.
They got to give Michigan back their Final Four banners.
They do.
They got to get UMass back their Final Four banner.
Yeah, man.
Like
UNLV got in a bunch of trouble back in the day too.
No, I don't think they
didn't vacate any wins, but they were always in some trouble. Yeah. It was all because it was Vegas. Like,
I mean, they were the bad boys of college basketball.
Yeah, right. My man Tarkanian was biting towels. Yeah, it was crazy out there. They used to beat you
by 40.
Yeah, they'll smoke you. Now, I don't think the NCAA should. I don't think these kids should get paychecks though, because I think if a college does commit to you with a scholarship, they should have to they should have to be held accountable for that. So if they give you a 4-year scholarship, they should have to stick to that. But if they got to cut you a paycheck and you suck, they should be able to fire you like everyone else in America. Because you can't say I want my freedom. But
when they were making the college football games, like all of them guys was like, all right,
that's the likeness.
We should get paid from EA Sports or whatever, not the university.
There was clearly the union fight where they tried to boycott. I think it was Northwestern University. They said we want paychecks.
Oh no, I didn't hear that one.
Yeah, so you should get taxes taken out, FICO, child support. You should get everything taken out the check that everybody else gets, and then that little sorry behind check you get, that little $2,500 you get every week, it's gonna be looking more like $800. You know, because these dudes coming to college with problems too, so they got to be careful what they ask for. Go get your money on the side. I remember they had a kicker at North Florida. He had a YouTube channel. He was getting paid hella bread.
Central Florida,
yeah.
Destroyer.
They wouldn't let him play. And he was like, well, I'm going to go ahead and just stick with my YouTube channel. Yeah. I'm a celebrity. I'm academics.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Figure it out, man. Turn these kids into hustlers. And then if they stay and get education, now they know what to do with all that money. And they got the connection. So that's what's up, man. We got to talk about Shacarri Richardson. U.S. The fastest woman in the world. She set a record at the trials in the 100 meter.
100 meter.
Then she came up hot on the marijuana test less than 30 days before the Olympics in Japan.
Yeah, it was a week. She got popped a week after.
A week after she set the record.
Yeah.
So it was very recent when she smoked, and there's been a lot of people going back and forth. I was one of the people. I had an opinion about it. What was your opinion when you heard the news? How did you feel about it?
I just chalk it up to like she knew the rules.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We can't us as black people, we can't just take her side because she's black. You know what I mean? We have to like call a spade a spade. Yeah. You know what I mean? We can't bring up Michael Phelps. We can't bring up none of that.
No,
like
we can't.
She knew the rules. I mean, she smoked because she was dealing with a definite family. Cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you can't go about it that way.
I understand moments of hardship and moments of tragedy, but that has nothing to do with the rules.
No.
That is what, and then see, people are like, oh, well, marijuana is starting to be legal everywhere. First of all, it's still not legal everywhere in the United States.
Right.
And this is also the International Olympic Committee. So all 118 countries got to follow these same rules. Countries where weed is legal, where they can smoke hash and do coke. They can do heroin. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
But they got to chill for the Olympics.
Got to.
You gotta relax. Like Stephen A said, put down the weed.
Got to.
Just hold off. You got to wait 30 days. You smoke all you want.
Mm-hmm.
We all know people that been to jail. They got to wait until they off probation. They can do whatever you want. Party up. DMX. Gonna make me lose my mind once I'm off them papers. People gotta go get jobs. Wait till after you get the job then you could snort, sniff, pop, drink, do whatever you want.
Anything you want.
Shoot it up in your foot, whatever. But that's what I'm saying. And I think culturally, and we know this is a sports podcast, but culturally, I don't think sometimes our community likes being told what to do.
No. Mm-mm.
Even if it's to our benefit, we have a problem.
Yeah, it's pride gets in the way.
Pride is and that's a pride thing. So all these people, oh, Chris, she's going through things. Listen, I've gone through a lot of things. But at that job interview, I did not go drink the night before. I waited till after I got the job and I celebrated with 7 shots of Fireball. You know what I mean? I've been there before, but I had to wait.
Right.
I had to do what I had to do. People go through things all the time. And now you just said they reported today that they left her off the Olympic roster. Originally they said she'll still be able to run the relay. But now she's not going to run anything. And just think, what's the average price of a joint? $10?
Yeah.
$10 might have cost her 10 million, 30 million in endorsements. Global money. This is kind of like my argument about Naomi Osaka. It's like, yo, not doing certain things is costing you global money. Don't worry about the American media. And it's not just about American endorsements. You were about to be the fastest woman in the world in front of the entire world. You were going to be on the road for a year showcasing gold medals. And you were going to be on a Wheaties box in Russia, in Moscow, where they don't even like Americans. They might not even like black people.
No.
You know what I'm saying? But you were going to be #1 in the world as the fastest woman in the world. And now you got to sit out these Olympics and wait 3 years until the next Olympics. There's a cost to breaking rules. And I need people to appreciate that and understand that. She cost herself a lot of money. Now they're saying Nike stuck by her, but I guarantee you it's not going to be the same.
Yeah. Well, Nike stuck by her because I guess they still was going off of she can't run the 100, but she still could run the relay.
Yeah.
But now, like, this news just broke today, so let's see what Nike do after that.
And it's crazy. WAC 100. This guy says a lot of crazy things, but he said he felt like she let her people down. And I don't know if she let the whole black community down. She definitely, I think, when she looks back and
let her family down.
She let her family down, but she also let the people down looking up to her. You know, the United States will get over it, but there's people that look up to you.
Yeah,
that you definitely let down, and your relay team now, because now they can't run without the fastest woman in the world. So now it's going to be a fight where we would have. United States is going into this Olympics with one of the best, most dominant in every event ever, because they've been training for an extra year. Everybody's in perfect condition. We were one of the only countries that kept their people in shape, even during quarantine. And now we're short one of our best. You know, so the legalization thing, the argument, all that, people just gotta follow rules, man. You know, talk to the baseball players. People follow the rules, man.
Follow it.
That's it. What else is going on in sports? What you got, man?
There's nothing really in football.
Nah, football is quiet, man. It's quiet time in football. I hear people doubting my Buffalo Bills. They starting to, because Kansas City said they want to go 16-0, man. And I'm like, yeah, it's a good thing to say, but I think they made too much of that comment. Who doesn't want to go 16-0?
Yeah, everybody wants to go 16-0 until you lose your first game.
Yeah, you should be trying to win every game that you play. That's it. I didn't understand why they made a big deal out of that. College football, what do you think?
I like that they're gonna go to 12 teams for the playoff.
Yeah. Oh, someone guaranteed that they would beat Alabama this year. Who was that? I don't know. Oh man, it escapes me. I wish we would have had this written down. But there was a school out there that guaranteed that they were going to beat Alabama because they're playing. It was a non-conference opponent. We're going to talk about this next week. We gotta look that. I definitely got to look that up. But yeah, man, this was a good episode, man. It was 45 minutes. We got it in today.
Got it in.
Nice and smooth, man.
Yeah.
You know, nice and smooth. Super League, man. We're going into the last week.
Last regular season game, Sunday.
My team plays your team, man.
Yeah.
That's why I was out there on the blacktop getting ready, man. I'm not taking it easy on you. That's all. I'm gonna deploy a defense you've never seen before.
Well, it's some of them teams that's fighting for the playoff spots gotta they really gotta show up this Sunday because RDH got a forfeit win already from the Gray Squad.
Oh yeah.
So that puts them at 7-4. So they're pretty much in.
Yeah, man.
So it comes down to like seeding with my team and your team.
Yeah, we got to get it in.
I mean, if y'all win, y'all go to y'all lost to RDH, right?
Yeah, we lost to them. Yeah,
So
we definitely did.
Y'all will go to 4? No. 5. Y'all will go to 5.
5 of 8. Yeah.
Y'all will go to 5. We will go to 6.
Okay, so we would end up playing RDH again.
Yeah.
I think we could take them, man. I think we could take whoever. I just think we need to show up and play.
Let me see. Town, RJS, ISO Island. Y'all will go to 4.
Okay.
We will go to 5.
And we'll play y'all again.
Yeah, and RDH will go to 6.
I like our chances versus anybody.
Or it'll come down. Well, that portion of it'll come down to total points because we will all have beaten each other.
Yeah.
So it'll come down to total points to see who gets them 3 spots.
Y'all feel like taking a dive? You know what I'm saying? If I could throw you a little hundo, you know what I'm saying?
Nah. I think I'll have majority of my team Sunday.
Maybe I can point shave. You know what I'm saying? Let my team know, like, listen, man, let's make it look good out here. But we want to play RJ.
Because if we win and y'all lose, y'all would play. I want to say y'all would play ISO Island.
I'm with it. We beat them. We already beat them.
Yeah.
I think we can beat anybody.
Yeah.
We just gotta believe, man. We gotta believe, man. We need that heart. But the NBA Finals game is starting game 1. Shout out to everybody that tuned in on the YouTube. YouTube seems to be a much more stable platform. So I'm thinking just do it on YouTube, share it to Facebook. Yeah, I think that's what we're gonna have to do from now on. But and the resolution's way clearer too. So we're actually in 4K tonight. But yo, this was a good episode. Follow us, Indio Media Group on Facebook, Indio Media Group on YouTube. Pick and Roll Podcast, episode 14. Logo coming soon. I got my man working on it.
Yeah, man.
So hopefully we can get it next week. And yeah, man, we're trying to take this to the next level. This is episode 14. We are out.
This dude shot an air ball on the free throw line already.